right? Based on your logic.
Yes, based off my
Okay.
logic.
Okay, so why are you not making a case for that then? Why are you making a case for foundational Black Americans and you're not going against the reparations that's being paid to Jewish descendants now? You're not making a case on that nowhere. You're not in their spaces saying what they should get.
Because I adore the Jews, and the Jews have been there for me.
Okay, so it's a racially based policy. The policy should be implemented based on race.
Yes.
No, that's not going to work, man. We're not playing that game. That's called white supremacy. And white supremacy is unjust, ma'am. This is why we need reparations because of unjust white supremacist policies, right?
Understandably so. But I also feel
Right.
like, yes, whilst white supremacy is wrong, and it's unfortunate for people to have more privileges than others, I think
Hmm.
it's the way the world is. The world is cruel. Some people have to get the short end of the stick.
No, 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 we don't. No, we don't. No,
and
we don't.
and
No,
if
we
that is
don't.
the FBA's,
No,
then so
that's
be
no,
it.
no, that's white supremacy talk. Nope, you don't. You can have a just world. The world is not evil. The white supremacists are evil. The universe is a very just entity. It's not cruel. It's not evil. The people can make choices to do the right thing or do the evil thing. You can choose to produce justice. Black people, we've always been a just people. You can have integrity. You don't have to be a damn degenerate. There's too many resources on this planet to mistreat people based on race and ego, because that's an ego thing. So that white supremacist mindset of the world is evil, that's that satanic white supremacist filthy mindset that has to go. That's been a cancer on this planet. And we have to replace the system of white supremacy with a system of justice, right? Isn't justice better?
Justice is better, but unfortunately, justice doesn't always happen. People don't always experience justice in any field. And I also feel as though you were talking about how the blacks, the world is an unjust place, of course, and they get the short end of the stick. But also, yeah, it is a cruel world, and there are blacks perpetuating ghetto culture and perpetuating gun violence and perpetuating gangs and crimes. I think the
But but
most, statistically, the
but
most.
but ma'am, you can't point your finger at black people being criminals and you are a supporter of white supremacy, and that's the biggest criminal gang in recorded history, right?
I don't think so. I think, yes,
Ma'am,
like,
but
I don't
it's
think
not,
of myself as a white
ma'am,
supremacist.
but ma'am, it's safe to suspect that you are a white supremacist because you've sat here and you made excuses for white supremacy, saying, "Well, that's just the way the world is." No, it's not, ma'am. White supremacy is the most unnatural thing ever created. So
I
that's
don't think
not.
so. I think there's more unnatural things than to dislike a certain group of people and
No,
to work against them.
supremacy is not about just disliking. It's dominating, controlling, and mistreating people by force. So it's
Rightfully
not.
so.
It's not. That's not right. You think it's right to mistreat people by force just because they were born the wrong color in your mind?
No, but I think if environmentally and mentally, and in the environments that they were born in, them being around, let's be honest here, most of them are in the ghetto, they're around violence. And most of them, because that's all they know, it's a thing versus, nature versus nurture. That's all they know. So they continuously perpetuate it. And I
But
think going from that
but ma'am,
stance,
but ma'am,
yes, it is good
ma'am,
to work against them.
no, ma'am. Well, black people who don't live in the ghetto, you still practice white supremacy against them, ma'am. So the ghettos are created by the white supremacists. Your community creates the ghettos, ma'am. That's a creation of you. So why do you create ghettos, ma'am? And then complain about the ghettos you created?
I don't necessarily think, okay, well, we may have created ghettos, if that's what you call it, but you guys are the ones to still accept it and to not try to
Well,
escape that
no,
lifestyle.
no, ma'am. We don't accept it. This is why we're calling out the problem, which is you and your kind, the white supremacists, ma'am. That's why we're fighting against that.
Who's fighting against that?
Me and other black people who think like me, we're fighting against systematic white supremacy.
And
That,
against the odds, you and the people that you fight against,
mm-hmm.
I still think that if we're looking statistically and at the just the facts, I think the ghettos and the other blacks that do perpetuate that are have a high percentage of it. So I think you guys working against that doesn't really do much. Yes, it's like you guys want change and you guys want things to get better for your people. But if we look at the statistics and the percentages, most of the people you are saying are the problem are your own people causing it. And they're the ones doing it the most.
But, ma'am, what are they doing that the white supremacists didn't orchestrate?
E- Everything,
Such
I
as
think
what,
they're
ma'am?
doing, such
Name,
as killing their own blood, such as
okay.
leaving their
The,
wives, leaving their kids.
the only people who do that are people in extremely economically deprived areas, middle class and well to do black people. They don't kill each other, ma'am.
And what are the races that are in those deprived areas?
There are a lot of black people in those deprived economic areas.
Exactly. So
Mhm.
they still do cause it. It's a thing of like either fighting against it or accepting it, and most of your people accept it. That's why that's why if they really fought
But ma'am,
against it,
we
things
learned
would
it
have
from you. But
changed.
ma'am, we learned it from the best you. We've
Yeah, but
learned
you
how to
can't
accept.
always say you can't always victimize yourself in the situation and be like, we've learnt it from you,
You did.
um, and
We
just
learned
accept
violence,
being the victim in the situation. Because
but
how
you've
long
accepted being the victimizer. So yeah, we are the victims. We are the
that
victims. You're the victimizers.
that's
You
like
victim.
that's like no, that's like drug addicts. Just drugs are given to them. Drugs are
Right.
produced by people, by the rich, right? But they're the ones who keep on like sticking the needle inside of them. They're the ones who
Right.
keep on being addicted to it.
And
It's at their own detriment.
and they punish people who sell drugs to folks who overdose. See, they say that the drug dealers are responsible too in many cases. If you sold somebody the fentanyl that they overdosed on, you're just as culpable, ma'am. And just like the white supremacists, they're culpable for the situations and the environments that they created for black people to not thrive. So it's you, the white supremacist, ma'am. That's why we're looking at you as the problem, right?
In what can you please break down in what sectors we are the problem?
Every single
And
sector.
I'm not a white supremacist.
I
I'm just
suspect that you
speaking my own
Ma'am,
opinion. So
based on what you're saying, I suspect that you could be a white supremacist, ma'am.
I'm not though. You said
Until
could, but that's not a
until
definite.
proven otherwise, and you haven't proven that you're not a white supremacist because you're spewing a lot of the white supremacist talking points. But ma'am, there's 9 areas of activity between human beings, and the white supremacists dominate every 9 area of those activities, ma'am. Name something that the white supremacists don't control or dominate. Name one thing.
I don't really think the white supremacists control much. I think
The
we
what don't
again
they
are
control?
listen, hate crime is a thing.
Ma'am,
White
ma'am,
supremacy is
ma'am, you're deflecting, ma'am, because you can't even name anything that your community, the white supremacists, that they
I'm
don't
not a white
control.
supremacist.
What don't they control, ma'am?
To be fair, I
And
don't think
the
they can like
fact,
I said, I
right,
don't listen. I think you're confusing a
right,
white
and
supremacist
right, and you can't name
and
anything.
no, listen, I think you're
Therefore,
confusing
therefore, if you control everything, which basically you've acknowledged by your silence, you're responsible for what you control. If we're controlled by you, you're responsible, just like a ship. The captain is always responsible for whatever goes on that ship. And the white supremacists are the captains of the ship. And they've gotten everything jumbled the hell up. So they're the ones to blame for anything negative within black society globally. They're the blame for it.
but do you not blame your own people for perpetuating that? Like
The
I've said
thing,
numerous amount of
no,
times.
because if it weren't for the white supremacists, they wouldn't perpetuate it, ma'am. So the white supremacists, they're the problem.
Yeah, but that's a moronic excuse because if you really
That's the
wanted to,
truth.
and if you all work together, the
Because we
pillow would
do,
turn.
because we every time we stop the criminality and the degradation in our community, the white supremacists undermine us. Anytime we have any kind of black progress, the white supremacy uses the white supremacist, they use their force to undermine us and knock us back down. So they are the problem 100%. We can get ourselves up out of negative situations overnight, but we're kicked back in those situations by the white supremacists. Whenever we build communities that are prosperous, the white supremacists go out of their way to undermine them. And we've done this over and over again. Whenever we find some level of success collectively, the white supremacists will knock it back down. So they are the problem. Your white supremacist community, that's the problem, ma'am.
So you just continuously victimize a whole
Because you're
race.
victimizers, because you are victimizers. As
Yeah, but
long
I
as you
don't think
victimize us, we're going to act like victims and say, hey, we need to get these people off of us to stop victimizing us. Yes, we're victims. I'm a victim of white supremacy, ma'am.
I feel like that's very counterproductive because if you don't take pragmatic ways of just going about it, and if you don't actually take action and you just
Ma'am,
accept people are continuously victimizing you, I feel like you're not
ma'am,
going to
that's
get
why
anywhere.
that's
Hence
why
why you're
we
still nothing has
That's why
changed.
no, no. That's why we have to. We don't look at the victimizers enough because see, we start thinking that we caused a lot of the stuff that happened, and it's just bad luck. No, it's the white supremacists orchestrating that, and enough of us don't look at it like that. But when we do, we actually start doing better because we know what the problem is. Just like military, you're never going to win a war unless you know what's going on in the war, and we're looking at the people perpetuating the victimizing, and that's the white supremacists. And if we focus on that, we'll solve the problem of white supremacy and produce justice, right?
Hypothetically, if they are the ones causing it all, white supremacists, and if they are the ones pulling the strings whilst you all remain as puppets, what are you going to do to actually stop it all? Rather than just talking, what are the actions you would take for the majority of your people so they can prosper and actually escape the stereotypes that are bestowed upon them?
But here's the thing with black folks, and we don't discuss military strategies or societal strategies or social studies strategies with the open enemy. We don't discuss that. But I will say that black people, we have to get into the mindset of running our societies in a collective manner that's going to be productive. Because here's the thing, you suspected white supremacists, you guys are going to kind of wither off on your own anyway because your numbers are already low. So the white supremacists are already kind of being wiped out by nature. Over there in Europe, your numbers are very low. Over here, the numbers are low, and you have a zero birth rate, and you know that. Especially you white women over there in Europe, y'all have to get artificial uteruses and all of that stuff. Y'all not having babies like you're supposed to because a lot of you can't. So your numbers are really, really looking dire at this point. So you're not going to be around too much longer, the white supremacists, because you guys segregate yourselves off into these little enclaves, these little all white supremacist enclaves, and then you start mating with each other, and that creates a lot of neurological diseases, which speeds up um, that birth rate decline. So you guys are not really going to be around too much longer, and that I say unfortunately because y'all take a lot of other good white people with you with your bullshit. So we're just trying to get black folks into the mindset of running a society on our own. So we want to get us into that mindset. So we're going to be fine. I think we would be more advanced if it weren't for the white supremacists holding us back so much. So we're going to be fine. We're just focusing on creating communities that will be self contained when the white supremacists won't be able to dominate us anymore. So that's our biggest concern.
Yeah, but wouldn't that still be segregating and wouldn't that still lead to conflict if you just want to build communities with your own people rather than try to infiltrate other communities and maybe do it from that standpoint? Because I feel as though, yeah, that's still segregation. I still as though that'll be very counterproductive in the long run.
That's not
And no
segregation.
matter, no,
That
yes, it
that
is because you want to stay with the blacks. You're just saying our communities, we will build it up from the ground up.
but it's a default situation. I mean, it's not that we just want to be with the blacks. we're with the other blacks by default because the white supremacists segregated themselves and they've drained all the resources for themselves. So, in order for us to accumulate resources, we have to be codified to do business with each other in order to sustain and help each other. This is why Foundational Black Americans, we've been the most successful Black people globally because we've been codified enough to understand the importance of needing each other and building with each other. This is why your community of white supremacists are always coming among us trying to divide and conquer and infiltrate us with all of these different movements. So the fact that there's so many resources used to undermine us shows the threat. Anytime we build a community, the white supremacist city planners will go and try to put a freeway or a train station or a subway right in the middle of a black community. Whenever we try to build something up or we build a prosperous, self contained black area or business district, your community, they go up and put bombs in there and blow it up like they did Tulsa. They'll go shoot it up like they did Wilmington. So we're the only group that has had this complete sabotage over and over and over of black progress, even with the FBI, the highest intelligence agency in the country. They had a whole program called COINTELPRO designed to keep black people from rising up economically. They were infiltrating every single black organization, having people burn down buildings and assassinate people. So the fact that your community goes through all that effort to undermine us, ma'am, they are the problem, right?
Yes, but like I said before, you guys have been fighting for a long time now. And
Mm-hmm.
whilst you guys are accepted in society and a lot has changed since slavery and those times of torment, I feel as though if you guys went about it a certain way, a
Like
more
what?
pragmatic way, I feel like if you went through it for, I think if you went forward in a certain way, it would change a lot of things, and
Like what?
not much changes happen. So I think that really
Okay, I keep
shows in the
asking you what?
competency.
Okay, you're just talking in vagaries. Go about it. What? Go about what and what goal and what should we do?
I feel like maybe follow the white people, follow their behavior, follow the way they carry themselves, rather than try to ostracize yourself from society by alienating yourself and being abnormal. I think
Follow white people and to do what? What do you do? Explain what you do that we need to
not
follow.
follow white people. I think follow the ways, the way they carry themselves, whilst you also have your own
Okay.
qualities and
Okay.
things
What
that define yourselves
okay,
differently.
what qualities of white society that's unique that are unique to white society that we need to follow? Let me know. Let's name them.
I think elegance, decorum, you know,
Elegance,
yeah, I think decorum. I
ma'am,
think
ma'am,
carrying yourself
ma'am,
respectfully. I think it's just
ma'am,
there's just something about it in the
ma'am.
ambience that I just can't explain
Ele-
what to.
Elegance, E-
Yes, I think elegance,
ma'am,
but I think decorum is more of a rightful description. I think,
ma'am. There's trailer parks by the millions of people from your community. Is that what that's the elegance you're talking about?
but that's a small demographic of my people. I think the majority of black people just like, let's look example. Where does like twerking come from? Where does all this, being promiscuous and showing your naked body come from? It
Your
certainly
community,
doesn't come from the white people.
yeah, it does, ma'am. Ma'am, the Greco-Roman society, you guys were freaks over there in Europe. What are you talking about, ma'am?
Yeah, but I still feel as though we did it with some
Ma'am,
type of
no,
elegance. Yeah, but
ma'am,
listen, we
elegance, ma'am,
we Tariq,
ma'am,
listen, we are in a
elegance,
different society now. We are not in the
ma'am.
Revolution. We are in a different
The
society right
Greco,
now. I
ma'am,
feel as
y'all were
though
having sex with animals. What you talking about?
that's a
Y'all
small
do it now,
demographic of people. Black
ma'am.
people,
No, no,
black
no, no,
people
no, no, no,
commit
no, 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 no,
bestiality all the
no.
time.
Oh no, we don't, ma'am. Ma'am, there's websites now on the dark web of you white women, especially from the UK, boning horses, dogs, and piglets. Is that the elegance you're talking about, ma'am? Because we
And what
ain't
are
on none
black
of them
people
sites.
doing?
We're not on them damn animal porn sites.
Listen, you're talking about a small group of people that
Oh
happen
no,
to be
no,
white. The
stop
majority of
it,
people who are
ma'am,
black are
ma'am.
promiscuous.
No, 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 no. Tell us more about this elegant man family. There's porn sites by the thousands of these white women, especially over there in the UK, where she's from, boning horses, goats, turkeys, pit bulls, ostriches. They're boning everything. Is this the elegance you're talking about, ma'am?
Tariq, you need to.
Ma'am, just tell me more about the elegance. And then I won't even get on the meth epidemic. Do you smoke meth elegantly, ma'am? Is that what we need to emulate? Your meth smoking?
Absolutely not. Meth
Okay,
is
so
not
what are you
for
talking
white
about
people to
the
smoke.
elegance, man? There's a meth
Listen, I'm
epidemic
saying
in
the
your
way they
community
carry themselves, they
with
carry
meth
themselves with a
pipes?
certain type of classiness that
With
just a
meth
lot
pipes.
of black people can't exude, and that's just a
Are you
fact.
talking?
And
You
you'll
said
bring
classiness or glassiness? The glass meth pipe, because there's a lot of meth pipes in your community. Not all white people. I'm not trying to denigrate all white people, but there's an epidemic in the white community of crystal meth use. Is that the elegance you're
black
talking
people
about?
are using meth too. I don't know why
No,
you keep on bringing up
ma'am,
these points like every
ma'am,
single
ma'am.
person in each
We don't
different
do
race.
meth is something that we do not do. It's so rare for a black person to do some meth. We don't do no damn meth.
Okay, do you think?
So
Do
rare,
wait, Tariq, can I ask you a question? Is meth
man,
expensive or is it cheap?
man.
Is it an expensive or
We
cheap
man,
drug?
ma'am, we don't do meth as black people. We do weed. We don't do no damn meth.
Because weed is cheap. You guys can't do meth. You
Uh,
guys can do coke.
ma'am, we
Because
good.
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 And
We don't want you. Good. Y'all keep it because we don't want
I
you to
don't
do what
want
you
to as well,
do.
but you're bringing up these small cases that
Don't
happen in every
all
single race
cases.
and bringing it up
All,
like it's a good.
no, 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 no. You don't make trillions of dollars in the drug trade for small cases. The meth industry is the damn $1 trillion industry. The heroin and all of the drugs that your community use, that generates trillions of dollars. It's not a small time operation, ma'am. Is that the elegance you're trying to tell us about, ma'am?
And do you guys not do the same thing with weed,
Yeah, weed is all
etc.?
right. Yeah, weed is better than meth.
Yeah,
At least weed
I'm
is
not
better.
trying to justify drug use. I'm just saying in every race there are
But you're
people
talking about
using
all of this
drugs.
elegance, ma'am. But
Yeah, but
I'm
you're the one
trying to
who brought up
understand the
meth.
elegance. I'm
Listen, I'm trying to
ma'am, I'm trying to understand this elegance you're talking about with the meth and the bestiality and all of this. Where the trailer parks, where's this elegance you're talking about, ma'am?
listen, Tariq, okay? Listen. You're the one who brought up meth firstly, as the black man here rather than the white woman. And listen, you brought up meth whilst I was talking about elegance, and I'm saying that it's a certain type of ambience that I've only seen white people being able to uphold. You see black people being ratchet, being in the ghetto, talking about like intercourse and just giving like doing drugs and like getting all this illegal money.
But your people buy that. Most of the rap records are bought by your community, ma'am. When you look at the Coachellas and all of these rap concerts, most of these are your people going to see and listen to that. If you look at the rap music industry, your people run the rap music industry and they control what's released to the public. Our good brother Meek Mill just said he gets more money to rap about ratchet stuff by the white execs. So, why does your community own these record labels who put out this derogatory stuff about black people? And why are these white audiences consuming it so much? Why do y'all like black degradation so much?
Listen, I think it's the case where a lot of people just want to live vicariously through the lives of other people,
Right.
especially when that life is continuously being, thrown in their face. They see these videos of, black culture being perpetuated. And I think a lot of white people, they just happen to just want to vibe with it sometimes to see how other people are
Because that
living.
makes you feel better as a
Because
white person because you're insecure, right?
perhaps, but we may be the ones watching it and listening to it, but you guys are the ones doing it. You guys are the ones doing the shit that they rap about, I think.
And they're black
So I
people
don't
who doing
understand
and
what
no
point.
ma'am. and there's black people who's doing progressive stuff, but you don't put $1 billion budget on that. There's white people doing meth, boning animals, and doing all types of derogatory things, and there is no $1 billion budget for it. So you're not at liberty to point fingers. We only have our underbelly promoted on a national level. Every group has an underbelly. We are the only ones whose underbelly is promoted with $1 billion budgets. So that's your community promoting that, ma'am.
Tyreek, we live in a world that the things that are lucrative happen to be of detriment to others. And I think instead of bringing up these cases that do happen every day, you just need to realize that you're coming from the standpoint of generalizing it, and every that happens in every field. The things that are most lucrative happen to be cruel to others, happen to make others' lives better whilst making other people's lives worse.
That's a
It's
white
just the way
supremacist
things
mind.
are.
That's a white supremacist mindset. No, it doesn't.
It's not, Tariq. It's the
No,
world that we live in. I think we
no,
need to
that's
just.
the white supremacist world. That's a white supremacist mindset.
mm, No, I think it's
Ma'am,
just the
when
world we live
when
in.
ma'am, when you're over there in Europe, are you here? 'Cause you sound like you're in the United States now, or are you still in the UK?
I'm still in the UK.
Right,
I'm
ma'am.
sorry, my voice just happens to adapt to other people's. It's a bit weird, but I'm from London. Yes, I
Right.
am.
And ma'am, London and the UK, it's full of little white ghettos. Those little areas over there are very raggedy. You guys don't live in Lee over there. You guys over there living in them little bitty ass apartments, eating goddamn oatmeal and crumpets, and you're not bawling out the way you're supposed to. And many of you are drugged out over there too. So you're not at liberty to point fingers at anybody, ma'am. You're not really bawling out over there. And shout out to my black brothers and sisters over there in the UK because they bring the flavor to the UK. When I go there,
Facts.
eat your food. I have to go to my Caribbean brothers and sisters to eat the food. It's horrible there. So you don't really
Tariq,
have a
the only
culture.
thing Tariq, the only thing the black people add to this place is chefing people up. I think you're talking about the white areas being somehow being ghetto, but most of the areas here that have high crime rates and that happen to also be ghetto or to be in a deprived area, it's filled with black people inflicting harm on others, stealing from the shops, committing crimes, stabbing people up because they said something that happened to upset them that day. And when you look at knife crime, most of the people that do it are people of color or black people, especially black men. I was at a
Mhm.
park one day. I was at Hyde Park. I was strolling. Hyde Park is a very, beautiful park. It's a known park here. And there was just a group of black people in the corner. And all of a sudden, they saw what you guys call an op, and they started chasing him. They just pulled a katana out of his pants. One pulled out a machete, one pulled out a knife, and they just all went heading for someone that was their op, and it was one guy. So it is also pussy
Ma'am,
behavior from all of
okay.
them. But
So we're going to talk about knifing. The UK, the royal family, and the UK government, the English government, they went all over the world pulling out their bayonets, knives, and guns, colonizing people, particularly the West African people. So you guys colonized and stuck up whole countries, stole all the artifacts. I've been to the museums over there. You got all of the artifacts and some of the precious entities from some of these African countries in your museums that you stole, and the people are trying to get them back. You got all of the resources and the gold and the diamond, the De Beers, and all of those people. Y'all set up shop over there where you've pillaged African countries, man. We're not going to even get to the stealing. You guys take stealing on a whole different level. So, if, yeah, there's some brothers and sisters from the continent of Africa who go to the UK and put a blade on somebody's ass, well, that's just karma.
Tariq, with that analogy, with that comparison, right? I think the difference between those two things, you comparing the royal family stealing all these artifacts, inflicting harm in other countries, colonizing, and these ghetto places where these people can continuously perpetuate all that they have been through and inflict that on other people. I think the difference between that is one is for meaning, and the other is just for their own gain. I think those are two different things for their own personal gain. And
Ma'am, you think the UK government and the royal family and the UK army They weren't pillaging all of these countries around the world for their own gain. Britain colonized half the damn world. They went around the world colonizing everybody, even
The
us over
meaning
here.
as well.
Okay. And let me be real. The wealth of Britain was really built off the backs of foundational black Americans, because we were over here colonized by Britain, and then the white supremacists here broke off from them, but they still had a little deal going on. So a lot of that wealth was generated from the slave trade in the Caribbean islands as well. So they made their bones and they made their money, um, demeaning people and exploiting people and stealing and hoarding the stolen wealth, ma'am. So that whole society over there is built off of that. So you can't really point the finger, ma'am. And they did it for their own gain.
Listen, Tariq, you're still victimizing yourself, and with the, having a constant, just victim mindset,
Hmm.
you're not gonna. The thing is, you're not gonna get much done, because the only thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna get pity from the wrong people, the same people who exploit you, who you claim to exploit you, who add to the ghetto culture, who try to make things worse than it has to be for Black people. I don't I, I
It
don't
don't. It
understand your
can't,
point of always saying they're the ones causing this, but yet
ma'am.
just taking it
You keep.
constantly. You let them
Okay,
take
ma'am.
it.
But here's the problem, this whole thing making it worse. And that's the great thing, because you guys, the white supremacists, you've done so much degradation to us, it can't get any worse. So we can only go up. You can't threaten us anymore with, oh, it's going to get worse. You've done everything imaginable to us, and we survived it. And that's the thing that throws you off. And that's why foundational Black American culture in particular is so respected around the world, and people try to emulate us, because if we can survive that, those are a group of people who, we want some of what they got. We want that spirit. You go to the UK, they're over there acting like us. The white people are acting like us. The music that we listen to, they love our music. They love everything, our swag over there, because they know what it is. They know real godly people when they see it. So, foundational Black American culture is something that everybody wants to try to taste a piece of, because we're that mysterious group where you're trying to figure out, how did they survive everything we threw at them? These people didn't break, they didn't falter, they got a little dirt on them, and they're still kicking and ticking. And people can't do nothing but respect that and appreciate that. Even you, ma'am, because that's why you're calling. You respect it, you appreciate it. This is why you're trying to use your Jedi mind tricks, right?
So now you're just letting the whites yet again colonize and take what you guys adore. Take the music you adore, take the appeal you guys have to offer, take how you are as a whole. Is that what you are saying?
Well, you can appreciate what we do.
Yeah,
Everybody around the world appreciates what we do. And but let me ask you this. And how old are you? You're 20, are you in your 20s or 30s?
I'm 19.
Okay, you're very young. Let me ask
Yes.
you this. Let me add, I want you to be very honest. Have you been in a relationship with a black male before?
Absolutely not. I would
Okay.
rather I would rather be lynched than ever even think of that. And I say that
Okay.
with such kindness.
Right. Well, that okay, you're a white supremacist. That's a white supremacist mindset.
Absolutely not. I just think there's
I can understand.
types.
No, no, no. I can understand a preference, but you're like, I'd rather be killed. Now that's white supremacy. Okay,
But
that's
isn't
that's
that what
not
a
a preference.
preference is? Like,
Yeah,
because
that's not
how you, if that's the only thing that you're attracted to, if I'm attracted to Caucasians, right,
right.
Caucasian males, if I'm attracted to white men, me thinking about being attracted or being with a black man has to make me feel some type of way, has to make me kind of like suicidal ideation. It's just like
And
I
by
want
the
to shoot
way,
my
and by
brains
the
out
way, and by the
because
way, and by the way, I don't believe you. By the way, I
you,
don't believe
you don't
you.
believe me. The
No,
thing is,
I don't
Tariq, this
believe
is the difference. You're around,
you.
because this is
I don't
America.
believe
I see it happening. You're around the people, the white people who want to be black. Those are the areas you live in.
you,
And those
ma'am.
women, they let themselves be victims and be baby mamas. But that is not how I roll.
Ma'am, I don't believe you. You suspected white supremacist women are always looking for a chocolate soul pole on the low. I don't believe you at all. That's why you're
Isn't
calling.
that a bit? That's a bit egotistical, don't you think? All
Yeah,
these years, you guys went unwanted and unloved, and now to think
unwanted,
that apparently people always
ma'am.
want you is quite the
When
jump,
when
Tariq.
did we ever? When were black men ever unwanted, ma'am?
the only I'm talking about unwanted from me, from like a romantic point of view, from a
That's
love
what
point of
I'm
view.
saying.
You
When,
guys were wanted for uses
when,
to pick cotton.
when did you white women not want black males? Name the year.
Absolutely not. If you're
When?
talking about in a romantic way, never.
Yeah, ma'am, stop it. Ma'am, stop it.
The
Y'all,
people that want the black men today are the ones that want to be black, and they are victims themselves.
ma'am,
They've
ma'am,
let ghetto culture get to them. They've let societal ways
stop it,
just
man. Ma'am,
let themselves conform to
this is
it.
this is what you tell the white supremacist males that you're trying to get some money from. Okay, this is what you tell
Tariq,
them,
I don't need money.
ma'am. This
I don't
this
need
is
money, Tariq.
She's
ma'am. This
capping,
is
bro. The amount of white women that love me are unimaginable, fam. She's lying to
Absolutely
you.
not.
And I'm from
Joke,
the UK
joke.
as well, by the way.
yeah. Shout out, Joker. Let me talk to her. But yeah.
Come on,
She's
bro.
all cap. This is all cap. This is that,
Tariq.
ma'am. This is what these white supremacist males like to hear. They like to hear all of that aggressive anti-blackness. I'd die before I ever be with a black man. You probably got a black dildo in your house right now, ma'am.
That's disgusting, Tariq.
No,
Tariq, let me ask you a question. So you
go ahead.
think that there isn't a woman in existence that resides in England that just wants white men, or just like is attracted to white men in general, and that wants
But
a white
because if that were the
partner?
case, if that were the case, you would just do it. You wouldn't have to construct these weird anti-black ideologies, ma'am. That's to compensate for something. You're trying to compensate for something, ma'am. And I think that
I'm not.
yeah, that's kind of a hustle. You're a 19-year-old white girl in the UK, and this is what you tell the white supremacist males. And by the way, you might not even be white, to be honest, because you're over there in the UK. Truth be told, you almost have a Somali vibe. There's a lot of these Somali East African women over there in the UK who talk as if they're white girls, and you might be one of them. That's
I
what
feel
you
quite
really sound like.
Tariq, I feel quite offended right now because the fact that you think there isn't a white girl with a white accent in UK because we are being colonized by the black people, that is sickening. And you know what?
Yeah,
That is disheartening that you feel that way, but it's rightfully yours. But I also agree with you. There are a lot of blacks people these days, less white people. If you go to schools, you see way more blacks or like people of color than you see white. But I'm half Finnish and half English, and I would
I you know,
never want to be
and I might.
black.
I don't think. I mean, you might be East African. Yeah, you might.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you might. I'm feeling a Somalian vibe there. You just
That's disgusting,
because
Tariq.
you're going too hard to cosplay as a white girl. You know what I'm saying?
There's
What- A white
Tariq,
girl.
listen.
Listen. A white girl doesn't have to try that hard. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the UK. If you're in the UK, what are you trying to prove? You're in the whitest country ever.
I wouldn't
You're,
call
yeah,
this the whitest country ever. Like I just said, we are being taken over by the
yeah. Nobody.
blacks in the parks.
You're not being taken over. You allow some black people to get over there. You're not being taken over. I mean, you live in a
No, no
white
one
country.
allows. I think it's more so. I don't allow anything, to be sure. If I
Yeah.
was given the chance to not allow those people here, I think I just would not allow them here. So
But yeah, I think you might be an East African, with a British accent and
I'm not.
trying to cosplay. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, dear, like I said, I think that you low key have a fetish for black males, and you just, this is some kind of hustle that you got to tell white men in order to get a couple of dollars out of them. I think that's
I
like,
don't need money, as I just said a
yes,
numerous amount of times.
ma'am, this is a cosplaying thing that you get around white men and you play the little Nazi girlfriend. This is cosplaying that you're doing. And you tell yourself this stuff because why would you be threatened? You sound, white supremacy is based off, fear of genetic annihilation. And you're in the UK already, and there's no real big threat. And I know there's some black people coming over there, and you're worried about our reparations here. So why is a white girl in a white country just sitting around concerning herself with black ghettos around the world so much for?
I think it's because it's starting to become a me problem because I'm being affected by it. Like I just said,
How so?
environmentally,
How so?
environmentally. Okay, can I? Environmentally, there are black people taking over, there are people of color taking over. If you see the state of London as it is today, I think you would really understand. You walk into central London and you just see everybody there, and you come across the rare white people that you just walk by, but the
Ma'am,
majority of the people there
ma'am,
have been
over
taken
there,
over by those people.
over
And
there,
Tariq, can I ask
ma'am.
you a question?
Hold on.
Okay.
I'll let you ask in a second. But over there, you're familiar with Brixton over there?
Yes, I
Yeah.
am, but that's not really a good place.
Why isn't it? Brixton, it's a clean place, hardworking people over there, a lot of culture there. They got it popping. It's a black area, cool
Is
people over
Those are my ends, bro. You got it.
cool
there. Yes,
people
indeed.
don't live there.
Yes, they
And
do live there. And I've been to Brixton, and I love the people over there.
because you're
Hardworking, very
black,
hard.
of course you love the ambience that
Yeah.
Brixton gives off.
Yeah, they don't do anything to the white people. They're not harming you over there. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, but it's just, I feel like it just doesn't align with the type of culture I want to be around. That's
Well,
rightfully
because they're
my
not
opinion.
ratchet. Because they're not ratchet over there. Those are good, hardworking black people. They got their shops. They got their businesses over there. They're very hardworking people. It's very clean
Brixton is
over there.
becoming ratchet.
Oh no,
I
it's
don't
not.
know how, I don't know when's the last time you went there, but Brixton is becoming ratchet. There's been stabbings there recently. It's like, it's really not a really nice place as it once was.
Brixton it's still a cool place, and the people are still cool. Some of these other people, these serial killers running around the white supremacist community, that's the problem. Y'all running around there with no dental plan. Your teeth look like niblets. Yeah, you're all over the place with it. So yeah, you got to really look at the white supremacist community over there. You really have to look at that, man. All right,
You know what's the problem, Tariq? One thing I don't like is hypocrites. And I
right.
feel as though everything you stand for and all the stances you have given to me today really contradicts with the fact that you have murder charges out of Alabama.
Now you're trolling. See, don't reduce yourself to trolling now, because now you're going into white supremacist cop out mode. Because when white
Okay, I'm
supremacists,
not gonna go there. I'm just saying
yeah, because now you're trolling. Now when white supremacists lose an argument, then they just start getting goofy and then
I
just
haven't lost this
goofy stuff.
argument. And Tariq,
You
I
have.
feel as though two
And also again, I don't think because now that you're proven that you're not you're arguing in bad faith, I really don't
um,
think you're white now. I really don't think you're white, and that
because,
goes back to
oh,
my
Tariq,
theory.
why is that? Because you only think your people
Because,
could backstab, and you only think your
because
people
ma'am,
could
you're a
go
wannabe white.
play dirty. That's what you
Ma'am,
think, Tariq. You just showed yourself.
ma'am, you're a wannabe white supremacist. You're not even white. You just right there. You showed your arguments are in bad faith. You're not even white. You're a musty
So
town, ma'am. You are a musty town.
listen, Tariq. So you're saying
You're a
I'm a
wannabe.
musty tether. Okay,
Yes,
Tariq, listen, you're saying I'm a musty tether
ma'am.
for
You're
arguing in
ma'am.
bad faith. Tariq,
Yes,
I
you are,
just found out about those charges. Someone just put it in my
ma'am. Stop it.
inbox, so
Stop.
I felt
You're,
rightful
ma'am. You're
to
trolling.
ask.
Stop
I'm
it.
not trolling, Tariq. I
Stop.
really come in true faith. I come
No,
in
you
with good
don't.
faith.
Stop it,
Yes,
ma'am.
I do. Okay, listen, Tariq. Let me just explain something here, okay?
Okay, you're ashamed of being East African. That's
Listen, I'm not I'm not
yeah,
ashamed to be. Oh yeah, okay,
ma'am.
sure. So you just call me a tether because
Yeah,
you just
ma'am.
can't believe.
You're ashamed of being East African, ma'am. You done sat up here pretending to be a white woman, and you're not even white. How
Listen,
sad is
Tariq.
that?
Tariq,
Yes,
listen.
ma'am. You done
If the
sat here.
only argument you have is to
You sat here and pretended to be a white woman all this time. White women don't really talk like you talking, especially a 19-year-old white woman. That's what was throwing everything off. 19-year-old white women don't talk like that. It's not even practical for them to be a hardcore anti-black racist at 19. White women don't get real racist until they get around 29. Yeah, that type of shit kicks in much later. All right. So, ma'am, you've been sitting here cosplaying as a white woman. You're either are you a Somalian, ma'am?
absolutely not. Tariq, I think the issue here is you're saying white women don't sound like this at 19. You
No,
should
they
really
don't. They
understand.
don't.
Tariq, let me explain. You should really understand dialects. This is the dialect in some
No, they,
regions of West London, places you probably haven't been before because I don't know.
ma'am, ma'am,
There's not a lot of black people here. But Tariq, let me explain this. I want to
ma'am,
go back to the point. I want to go back to the point where you
ma'am,
said.
No, ma'am. Your
Listen.
arguments are in bad faith. I don't. You're not a white woman, ma'am.
Okay, Tariq. Whatever
Ma'am,
makes you sleep at night. But let me get to my point, okay?
ma'am,
Because
ma'am.
why do you think why do you think I'm someone like you?
Yeah, you're
Because I'm
Somali, ma'am.
arguing in
I
no, listen,
you're
Tariq.
now you're not a
Tariq.
white woman. You're pretending. You're a wannabe.
Tariq, listen. The fact that you think
Ma'am, just because you have a blonde divestment wig on doesn't make you a white woman. You're not a
listen,
white woman, ma'am.
okay. Okay, Tariq.
You
The
know what I
fact
hear?
that you
I
think
listen. I hear camel hooves pattering in the background, ma'am. Okay, so let's not play this game. I hear the camel hooves just a pitter patting in the background. You're
okay,
sitting here cosplaying as a white woman.
okay, Tariq. The reason why you think I might be cosplaying or whatever is because you think only your people can argue in bad faith. Even though I didn't realize I was arguing in bad faith,
You
and
are, ma'am.
I didn't know it was a sensitive spot for you because I
Ma-
just saw that right now. I just found
Ma'am,
out right now.
you're arguing in bad faith. Everything you said is basically all cap. You're a Somalian woman, ma'am. You,
Listen, Tariq.
ma'am, ma'am, you're one of them Somalian women. And shout out to the Somalians, but you do have some Somalian self haters out there, like this woman here who tries to pretend to be a woman. You're not a
Tariq.
white man.
Tariq.
All right, let you go, ma'am, because now your arguments are horrible. Joku, hop on, brother.
Yes, Tariq, bro. I appreciate you, bro. I was fucking livid on mute, bro. I just want to step in and just put her in her place, fam.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, this woman, she's capping. She's all cap. But yeah. Well, how's everything in the UK, brother?
No, it's good, bro. Cause like I was hearing you lot talk, right? And like I know her kind, lad. Like they see me whipping around in the McLaren or the Lambo. I have both. It's fine. I'm helping their communities more than they are, and it's fucking, bro. They see me, right? They know they can't have me. They come to your end in Los Angeles, and what do? They go to Inglewood, of all places, lad. They go to Inglewood, and they riz up the first black man that just makes eye contact with them. It's absolute madness, bro. I'm not sure if you've seen on your ends, but that's just what I've seen. You know what I'm saying?
There you go, my man. I can't understand shit you saying, but it's all good. All right, I can understand nothing he was saying. Let's get Colleen. Colleen, hop in, ma'am.
Hi, Tariq. I appreciate you letting me up. Listen, so I'm sitting here listening, and I was a bit dumbfounded. But she said to you, "I can't stand hypocrites." I thought the nerve, the balls on this woman, because her page says, "Focus only on Christ, His path, His mission. I do
Right.
everything for Your name." Whatever her Christ is, it sure the hell isn't mine. And I'm sure it's not a whole lot of people. I mean, that was ridiculous. Yeah,
Oh,
I found it really funny. So, anyways, thanks for having me up. I appreciate it.
thank you, dear. All right. All right. Let's get my homegirl, the foot model. Oh Lord, the foot queen.
Good
Hey,
morning. Can you hear
I,
me?
I can hear you, dear. Are you safe in the States? Or are you somewhere in Dubai?
No, I'm in the UK. I've been in the
Oh,
UK for a little minute.
this girl be getting money, girl. You be all over.
Yeah, I go to Paris this morning. I'm getting ready to go to Paris.
Man, I ain't mad at you, sister. What's on your mind?
So, first of all, like I said, I'm here in the UK now. I spent a lot of time over here in the UK, specifically London. This lady is capping. Okay. These
Yeah,
people are living paycheck to paycheck just like everybody else, homeless people all over the place. I don't know why she make it seem like just because she white means she got money. That's a freaking lie. And then she said, oh, well, it's affecting me because London is being taken over by black people. That's not true. I have not met a black person since I've been here, not an American black person. So what they got to do with our reparations? Them
right.
people invading over there are immigrants. What they got to do with us? And the fact that she up in the black people space this early in the fucking morning, it's 7:38 in the morning over here. She she got black people on her mind. And let's be real clear, her profile picture not even hers.
I know.
So you ain't gonna talk all that shit with your profile picture up there. Let's be for real, for real.
Real talk. All right, then. Thank you so much, dear. Yeah, like I said, I think that I don't even think she's white, to be honest. After she started trolling, oh, this ain't no white girl. Yeah, she's up here cosplaying. Julian, what's up, Julian?
Okay, I'm gonna ignore how you do that. But now I know this bitch Colleen is retarded because that's literally it makes sense with those glasses. 'Cause that's literally my bio. And this other girl's a fucking 500-pound elephant. Let's ignore that elephant in the room. What, you gonna break the fucking table? Get off that fucking table. That's ridiculous. That's
Okay,
absolutely ridiculous.
let's
Sorry.
all right. So
And I'm
okay, okay, well, first, Julian, let's watch your
sorry.
language. Let's do that. We got children, right? We got. Come on, man.
You know
What's on
I'm
your
like
mind? You
you.
just
I'm like a
wanted to
spirit
call him.
animal. No, that's my fucking e-girl, dude. My fucking e-girl down.
Okay.
You see how we have matching bios and all that shit, and you're fucking saying all this dumb shit like black nigger dick.
You can't
You think I
watch.
would settle
Oh,
for that? You think I wouldn't lynch every nigger in the room for her? That's my kitten. Unironically, that's my fucking
okay, you're
kitten. Back the fuck off.
okay. You're a black. You're a black dude. I know. I gotta edit your
You
shit
think
out of
I'm
here,
a
man.
black
Right? I
dude?
don't.
I am incel.
Yeah. You know, you're a black dude trying to sound like a white dude. I'm gonna edit your shit out because I don't want profanity, dude. You one of these goofy. You one of these goofy
You think
bogus
I'm a goofy
Negroes, man.
hoofy? But you're gonna tell
Yeah.
that bitch to eat a salad though? Come on my feet. I'm just looking at this whore's fucking ad name. Like, dude, what the size
Okay,
12? This bitch fucking Shaquille O'Neal's, and she's fucking yelling at you like,
dude. Dude, stop trying to sound tough, dude. You one of these goofy nigga nerds. This is why I get on the Negro nerds. This is one of these old real passive aggressive Negroes who's just weird, man. Your energy is weird. You know, you sitting at home and your shirt too small and you're just a weird dude. You one of them weird niggas and you're trying to lash out at the women and it's a weird nerd energy, dude. Like these bitches. These bitches. These bitches will rue the day that they ignored me. Calm down, Negro nerd. I hate Negro nerds like you who get real passive aggressive and get real aggressive with women. You guys are real funny style like that. Calm
keep
down,
in
dude.
mind,
How long have you been? No. How long have you
keep in
been a
mind, this
Negro
that
nerd?
girl has me on Snapchat. She knows I'm white. Just let you know.
Dude, you're not
Yeah.
white, dude. I can tell that you're a Negro. Now,
And
what
she's
part of the
17
Caribbean
over
is
there.
your family? What part of the Caribbean is your family from? You're not a white dude, dude. This is a goofy
What's the
tether
point?
trying to.
Every section.
This is a goofy tether trying to pretend to be white. Dude, stop it. You're doing the most. You sound like a nigga with a little relaxer in his hair. You know, trying to sound like a white dude. He's one of these gamer dudes. I can tell your profile, dude. You're some tether who stays on these video games. You one of these Call of Duty niggas. And
I do
you
play Call of
talking
Duty.
like you playing Call. Yeah, I know you do. You talking like one of them
But I'm saying,
niggas.
oh, you're
My
trying to
kid,
figure out which black I am, which country I am. What's the fucking difference? They all fucking smoke weed and fucking twerk on a fucking table. Name
uh,
me a black